Welcome back to Disc and Ball's Golf Channel. This is Learning to Lefty, episode 2 with a Greenside short game. So I was hoping to have this episode out much earlier, but life got in the way. I've been tinkering a little bit lefty, not a ton, still haven't played the course. But there's two main shots by the green that I think are important. They're super basic, it doesn't require a lot of fine muscle motor control, which I don't have left-handed anyway. But the first one is this one, just a hooded face, using your large muscles. You're basically just trying to land it a little bit on and let it run the rest of the way out. Go to this short target here. Doesn't take much. It's all big muscles. A little firm there. So yeah, you're just rocking back, core, arms are mostly staying straight. Just follow through. Don't stab, don't whatever, that was a little manly there. Honestly, you can pick a target where you want to land it, like just barely on the green, for example. Like that one there. And this is good for downhill shots or shots where you know the ball is going to run out, or you want the ball to run out. That one was good. So very simple, very doable, very controlled. If you want to go to a farther target, for example, that one down there, and just a little more rock, a little bit bigger takeaway, still following through. I like to have my stance open for this. It's a little slower than I thought down that hill. Like that. So let's try it left-handed. So the key is don't get your wrists involved. You want all big muscles, all big everything. As soon as you start getting your wrists involved, you're going to, especially if you're not used to it, you're going to slide underneath, you're going to pop the ball up, it's not going to go where you want. Right-handed I choke down, I think, toward the end of the club. Left-handed I'm not at that point yet. Also, these clubs are a little shorter. So, same thing. Straight arms, try and use the big muscles. See if we can save some pars this way. I got to get it back in my stance more, put the face. That way it's coming out low and runny. Otherwise, it's going to come up, pop up a little bit. It's not shabby. See if it's repeatable. That's pretty sweet. That one, see, I got my hands a little involved. Slid under, pop the ball up. Keep it back in the stance. Keep it hooded. Hooded is going to make it run, and keeping it on the ground is a better way to avoid those big, one, blading it, and two, popping it up and for example, doing that. So, face closed. See, face wasn't as closed there, and it wasn't very good. And I also kind of swung down into it. Ideally, you're coming not really a sweeping motion, but definitely across it rather than down into it. A lot of newer short game players will prefer to putt this because hey, it's more likely to actually get on the green and do whatever, as opposed to just stabbing the club into the ground, not accomplishing anything. But I think the bump takes all this ambiguity, takes that out. Certain greens, certain grasses aren't going to let you do that. Like this grass, for example, is not bad, but on the course there's some really grainy stuff where if you get into the grain, the ball comes in and it just grabs and it just doesn't go anywhere. And so if that's the case, I'll have to show you the second technique to kind of alleviate that. So we'll do one more and then we'll try that long one and see if I can, knock it closer than my my righty shots. A little stabby there, a little stabby. I mean, the distance is okay. That's still a reasonable putt, I think. Okay, let's try going down to the longer target and see if as I add power, I also add inaccurate, or lack of accuracy, or if I get a little out of control. This is a really easy little controlled, hands out, back muscles, core muscles. But if you try and put more on it, gotta get it back in my stance more. I keep trying to move it up here, and that's gonna cause a higher trajectory. A little spinny, a little grabby. I didn't really keep it low. I got to try and keep the hands ahead of the club. To keep that low moving, the low scoot, so to speak. That's way better. Better speed. It's down that slope a little bit. And as you get more distance, you can shift your weight a little and build it that way. Getting more distance by using your wrists is not optimal for starting out, I don't think anyway. Good smooth, a little high, it didn't really roll. Gotta keep the hands back. Pull through here, not with the hands. So pull through with the right shoulder, right pec. If you're right-handed, it'll be the opposite. Let's try and knock one closer. I like that one better. Still, it's slower down the hill than I thought. But, so that's the basic bump and run. I use a 56 right-handed. Some people like to use like a 9-iron or pitching wedge, get it down faster, get it rolling faster. For me, I don't know what it was when I was starting out. Putting the 56 just felt almost like a putting stroke natural as far as like the power that I needed. It's kind of like, right-handed. Right-handed is kind of like, I could just a little bump and it felt natural. So whatever feels natural to you, use that club if it's working. People might look at you weird for bumping, for hooding and bumping a higher wedge, but who cares? If it works, it works. So in addition to the little, the hooded face bump, I think the second thing to learn as far as very beginner short game by the green stuff is an open-faced sort of flop. You're opening the face, you're getting the club under the ball, getting the ball up in the air, and trying to land it at a certain point. Now, if I was smart, I would have brought something out here to mark that point. But I didn't, so actually, we'll see if this cigarette box will... So I think I need to land the ball about where that cigarette thing is, and this is where some of the grain's going to come into it, but ultimately it's all the same thing. Instead of, for hooding it, you wanted it toward your back heel, you wanted the face closed. For this one, you want it toward your front toe, face open, and you want to just basically put this leading edge, should be pretty basic, but leading edge between the ball and the ground, and let the bounce of the club here get the ball in the air for you. This is one where you want the wrist to come through like a tiny bit. Controlled is the key. And this is one where you're going to be probably taking a little divot, as you can see here. You want to follow through the ball and into the ground. Yeah, see, that's the right speed, but I have that cigarette pack too far up. Unless you chili dip it. I lifted my head there. It's so easy to do. In this case, the ground's a little softer, so you're not going to get the bounce. You have to hit more of the ball. And that just comes down to practice. Dude, what the fuck? There we go, that one landed a little bit closer. We're trying to land it about here or so and let it run up. Oh man, my right hand is rusty. There we go. For me, picking a landing zone, picking a landing spot that's like reasonable is the key, because I can usually People will tell you, like, pretend you're throwing it at the target. That kind of works for me. But if I know, like, where I want to land it, it makes it easier to, that was crushed, to kind of hit that point. All right, so let's try that left-handed. The key is I've got to keep my head down, and I've really got to focus on getting the club through the ball at the right position. It's not terrible. That's the right contact. I just need more power. I have no concept of like control left-handed, so that's not terrible. Let's follow through and get a little farther. Terrible follow through. I mean, as far as technique, results not bad. It's definitely getting the ball higher in the air, and I think that's just because I don't know, releasing the hands through a little more compared to other ones, a little more out to in, a little more big muscles, which you can do, but it's just higher margin of error. I don't know. You got to go with what's comfortable and what's repeatable. In that case, I don't have my big muscles working well enough left-handed. I might just have to follow through and just learn based on that for now. Learn with what works and then adapt later. Like, that's a huge follow through. The ball's going way up in the air, but it's consistent. Like, as you see, those two are like 8 inches from each other. Not even that. 5 inches. I swear it's 8 inches. It's like that's 4 1/4. Okay, so I have to land a little farther left-handed to make it work. That's such a bad follow through. I'm like really kind of, but I'm making good contact. It's so interesting to me, like how different my swings are lefty and righty. Okay, a little more, a little more. That's better. So because I'm getting more loft, because I'm getting the ball higher in the air left-handed, because I don't have all these bad habits, I actually have to land the ball further, closer to where that cigarette box is. So this is my 56, right? Yeah, it is a 56. Thanks again, Roman, for having some old clubs he'd sell me, making this possible. Oh, I crushed that one. Ooh, catch cam. So follow through. That one was a little, you know, lower trajectory, maybe a touch aggressive. That one too. Okay, slow it down. That one I didn't finish my takeaway. That was a lot faster through. I got to about here and then I was like, okay, we're going. So slow all the way through. Slow and smooth is so key for short game. Okay, that was better, but too slow. Nope, slid right under it. Dang, dude. So, as I mentioned, it's a much more of a finesse type shot than the bump. And this is one, like, if you can get, I mean, the contact's key, but really the distance control is more challenging. Wasn't terrible. Dude, I'd love to get one up to the target. These are all like 2 puttable bogeys, but we really want to be trying to save par. I am coming through so well, like the contact is so good, but the power is completely wrong. Yeah, except when I do that and then it just crush. All right, so we'll tinker with that a little bit more. My left-handed was obviously a little bit different from my right, so I'll get this cam going. Hey, what's up, dude? Just to kind of show what I'm doing and trying to follow through correct. Oh, chunked it. That is not the play. I looked up though on that one. I got to stay down, smooth all the way through. That's so much better. A little long maybe. That felt better, a little short again. I just cannot seem to get that speed right. But that contact was good. If you can repeat the contact, you can dial in the power later. And that's something I need to work on. That was better. You can tell I took more turf out. I swung through a little. It wasn't great. It wasn't like amazing, but it's repeatable, and repeatability is super important, I think. I really like that. I'm just not even close to the right power. So that one I thought about hitting it like 10 feet past, or 5 feet past, and it was closer. So once I learned that, it should be pretty all right. I hope that gives you a little bit of guide to basics. Apparently I definitely need more short game practice around the green with my left hand. And as always, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the course.